Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Bailey Unicorn Seville. So starting off at the front, you've got your hitch head just here with black lever, which you have to have up to allow for the tow bar to actually go into the hitch head. You've got your breakaway cable just here, gas strut handbrake. One thing with these to just be aware, sometimes people will pull it back and they think they've done it all the way. Just make sure you give it a little extra pull to make sure that it's all the way up. You then have 13 pin electrics. So anything past 2009 caravan wise is almost always going to be 13 pin. If you have a 7 pin adaptation on your car, make sure you bring yourself an adapter before you come. You then have your jockey wheel, which is used to level the caravan, and a handle there to pull up the jockey wheel whilst travelling. So starting off, you've got 2 points either side and 2 points at your back, and these are your inserts for your legs. The caravan comes with a leg winder. However, if you want something a little bit faster, you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill to attach onto these and just wind them up and down. Now do be aware, these are only to stabilise the caravan. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using these. Now we are using our test equipment today, so what I have here is our test gas bottle. It is a propane gas bottle, however inside here you do have a butane gas bottle. It's up to you what you'd rather use. I would recommend propane over butane, but it's up to preference. So you've got a gas hose here connected. Make sure whatever gas hose you're using is in date. Then inside here you have your regulator. Your hose attaches onto your regulator. You can hand tighten it to an extent and then just finish it off using a spanner. And then you open up the gas on your bottle to feed through the gas. Now we'll come round to the opposite side of the caravan, where we first have this. This is your insert for your water pump. Your water pump connects into this part here, and then you have a few little bits on it, like a little plastic cap to cover over the top of the act roll, and a strainer that sits at the bottom of the barrel. You then have this, which is your flue. The flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. Motor mover, we will show you how the motor mover operates on the day of collection. Just here you have your insert for your mains. Your mains connects into this point here, and it's just as simple as that. Just make sure the mains is plugged in. Just below it though, however, you have 2 inserts, and this is where your wastewater will come out of from both your showers and your sinks. You will need some 28.5mm waste pipes to feed into your waste master that you can then take to the emptying point on site. Finally, at the end here, we have your parts for your toilet. This top one is for your flush capacity. Get yourself something like a watering can for this, just to make it easier to fill up, because this is where you'll put in some clean water. You can also mix it with some pink chemical if you like, just to make it smell nice and fresh. Pink chemical acts as a bleach without being corrosive. This can hold about 10 litres of water and is used for the flush. Just below it, you have your cassette toilet. Your cassette toilet, to remove it, you press up on this orange handle, which can then turn into this handy dandy suitcase. You then take it to the emptying point on site, twist this head to the side, open up that cap, and what you want to do is first make that small again. You want to tilt the box and at the same time continually pressing this button here to vent. Then what I'd say to do is to open up that cap there. Oh, Bubble, how lovely. Go away, Bubble. Fill in some fresh water just here, give it a swill out, and again tilt and vent. Then on your cap here you have measurements of both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Your blue chemical goes into that cap, inserts back onto there, and it's just a case of pressing back your cassette toilet and making sure this orange handle here sits behind these white teeth, as it cannot be removed then. Now you don't want to travel with either of these too full, so to fully empty this top compartment you have this little black lead here which you open up and drains out any remaining water, which we will do for you prior to your collection. Just here you've got your main control panel. This switch here is your master switch. Turn that on, everything inside the caravan will begin to operate. You then have your lights here, so turn that on and off and you can see how that works, and then you just do your respective light switches for your respective lights. Then you have your awning light. Press that in, go to the outside and you can see your awning light is now on. Turn that off for now. You can see at the top it tells you the amount of volts coming into the caravan, which is currently 13.6 volts. Now if it were a case that you didn't have mains plugged in like we do today, it would show you an accurate representation of the battery charge. You then have this here, which is your pump button. I'm not going to press that today as we're currently not plugged into the water, but what you do, you press that in, make sure your yellow switch valve is in the correct position, come over to your taps after being plugged in, open up the taps in both the hot and cold position, and you want to let it run for about 30 seconds. And what you're after is a nice steady continuous stream. That shows that the water is operating and everything is good. Make sure though that your strainer is sat at the bottom of the barrel. Then just here we have your ALDA control panel. So this is for your heating and hot water. Press the menu button here and it will come to this screen. Now that top, this is all touchscreen from now on. So this top one, the thermometer inside the house, this is for the internal temperature of the caravan that you desire. Goes up to a maximum of 30 and goes up 0.5 each time. Whatever you set it to is what the temperature of the caravan will achieve. Starts at 5 degrees, you can press and hold as well and it will go up and down, so just like that. Next up you've got the shower icon. That is for your hot water, so you can either have it mid or full. Now I'm not going to have that on right now just because there's no water plugged in and it's just going to ruin the boiler. Mid will get the temperature of the water from around about 40 to 50 degrees, and full will boost the temperature of the water for 15 minutes up to 60 degrees and then drop it back down to that eco mode. So mid being that eco mode around 40 to 50, full meaning that it gets a boost for 15 minutes, which is ideal if you wanted to use the shower or something like that in the morning, and then drop it back down. Press menu again. You then have your energy source. So you've got a couple of choices with this. You can either use strictly mains, strictly gas, or a mixture of both. If you want to use strictly mains, you can either have 1, 2 or 3 kilowatt of capacity. Now do be aware, some sites do not have 3 kilowatt capacity, or if there are too many people on the site, it may hinder your performance on 3 kilowatts. So just be a little bit wary with that one. Just going to keep that down on 2. Now, let's say I wanted strictly gas, I'd turn off the electric and I'd press the gas icon. That runs the hot water and the heating strictly off gas. And if I want a mixture, 1 and gas, 2 and gas, or 3 and gas. It's just dependent on what you want to run. You then have some additional settings just here, such as language, screen brightness, and a few other bits as well. If you want to know a little bit more about that, I suggest you have a look at the book back. And then to turn this off, you press in on that button there and turns the screen off and stops the heating and hot water. Sugar. Then situated underneath your right hand side bed, you have your boiler just here. But the main thing I want to focus on is this yellow valve just here. That yellow valve is what allows water to come in and out of the caravan. So, well, not out as such, I guess it is. So it's currently in the vertical position, meaning that any water coming into the system or that is previously in the system will be drained out. have that up permanently from around November to March, just so it makes sure that no pipes are going to get burst from freezing over or anything like that. When you want water to come through to the caravan, it's just a simple case, reach in here and switch it to the horizontal position. Can be horizontal either way. We are going to keep this up for you, so make sure that when you do eventually come to use the caravan, you have that in the correct position to allow the water to come through. Then underneath your fridge, you have your trips and fuses. As you can see here, all your trips in the upright position and all your fuses are in. If you do need some additional information on trips and fuses, if something were to blow, then there is some booklets in your handbox. Then for your toilet operation, it is bog simple. It's the case you've got your flush button here, which you press in, and that pushes the water around the system. Now we are going to drain off the water before we send it out. And then at the bottom, you've got a catch, push it away from you, opens that up into the cassette toilet, pull it back to you and shuts that catch up. Make sure though, before you remove your cassette toilet, that is pulled towards you, because otherwise it's not going to be able to release. This here is the aforementioned water pump. So water pump connects in from outside using this part here, and then you can swipe down and lock it into place. You then have this plastic cap here which goes over the top of the acroll, just so no nastiness gets inside the caravan. And then you have this at the bottom, which is your strainer. Your strainer has to sit at the bottom of the water barrel, as otherwise it's just going to be gasping through air. So make sure that's sat at the bottom. Now they do have a little bit of a tendency to curl up, but once you show it just like that, it does get nice and straight. Now, all you have to do is plug it in, make sure you've got an acroll full of clean drinking water. Then we have your fridge operation. So for your fridge, you have a series of different types of sources that you can use. So it's currently at the central position, meaning that it's off. If I switch it to mains, you see all the lights switch on. That battery there is not for your leisure battery, but it is in fact for your car battery. So you switch it to that one when you're plugged in with 13-pin electrics. Only real difference is when you go to gas. Now for gas, you have these 3 bits here. This allows you to choose the amount of power coming into the fridge. Thicker the bar, the more power coming into the caravan. You then have an igniter just here, and this bar which shows a green icon, a yellow stick and a white icon. So to get the gas lit on fridge, what you have to do is press and hold on these 2 bits here and wait for that line to go into the green. Now I will show you what it looks like just now. And as you can see, that's what it looks like when it's lit. Now what you'll hear is it gradually begin to tick in, and then when it stops ticking in, that will eventually begin to move over into the green icon. Now, as you can see, when I switch it over to mains, it immediately switches to the bottom. So it's just a case, press in on that when you're on the gas icon, and it will begin to light. Then just here we have your hob operation. So for your hob, it works similar to any sort of gas burner that you might have at home. It's a case of pressing in the dial, twisting it to the side and pressing in your igniter. Only real difference being you do have an electric plate. For that, you just twist to the side and you can see there it comes alight. Now I'm just going to show you what it looks like when they're all lit. Now you can see here, nice blue clean continuous flames. And to shut it up, just put it back to the central position. Again, here's the grill, and you can see here, despite the sun, the grill operating. Let's see if I can do this with one hand for the oven. So press, twist to the side, and there you can see the oven operating. Only other real thing to note, don't put down this glass sheet until all of these burners are nice and cold to the touch, as you don't want the glass to shatter.